probably look like Who Did It and Ran. But I just woke up and I'm just sitting here drinking my hot water. But before I forget, I wanted to talk about the importance of detaching and detachment. And like when I say like detachment, it's not so much like you're detaching from a person because, you're out to hurt them, even though if it may hurt, but just spiritually thinking about it. So say like if I studied my whole entire life from the time I can learn how to read on how to fly, right? To fly when I turn 35. But, right? And so now that I'm 35, I've done all this studying, all this research, the ins and the outs about flying, right? And then once it's time for me to fly, on my way there, I meet somebody. It's like, oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to go fly. Oh, flying, that's cool. I want to fly. And I'm like, sure, all you got to do is this, here's the manual. So they're reading the manual on the way to fly. Now, because I've had so many years of experience on, and then simulations and practices and, sitting with discipline on how to fly, I'm going to know what to do versus this person whom I've just met along the way that's interested in flying. Yes, I gave them the manual, but doesn't mean that they had the time and, the space to just sit with the idea of flying, the cautions. Because what's going to happen is once I start flying, they're going to get up there. And then now they're going to be stuck. Because, yes, they read the book, but they don't know what to do. They didn't really have time to sit with the experience of flying. So now they're scared, and you just left, or I just left somebody stuck who wasn't ready to fly. And I only say this because, Most High's been working with me, my ancestors, spiritual team, the whole posse, all my cuz. But they're just, letting me know, like, the importance of letting people go. And, like, this is a conversation that we keep having is because, like, one, flesh and blood, of course you want to see your family go with you. And then two, like, attachments, bonds, and stuff that you formed, like, like a covalent bond with a person, like your person, a best friend. And just seeing, like, how, just kind of what I was just saying, like, the other day, like, sometimes isolation is not a punishment. It is for your highest good. And I've been sitting with myself for, like, the last month or so, just welcoming and, like, new connections, new conversations, new opportunities. But as I started, just welcoming in the new, I'm noticing, like, how behind me the doors are closing without even me just, closing it out of fear or closing it out of avoidance. And it was just like the avoidant doors that I had, they were like seeping out, just old pasthood, childhood traumas. And I could just feel like, just something behind me, just like hovering, like haunting me, like just knowing something's always there. And that was, the trauma. And so that's what I've been doing, like, since I've been sitting with myself. Like, of course, I'll get on here and talk to you guys. I love to multitask. So I do a lot of stuff I do a lot of different things. But as I've been sitting with myself, I just been closing doors. And it's not even closing them, like, out of spite, out of hate, out of, like, ill intention. It was just, like, each door I was able to open that I've been avoiding, and just open it, address it, state my piece, give grace to myself or to whomever in that situation, and then just close that door. And then this time it's like when the door closes, it's no hesitation. And then it's like no, nothing that makes you just want to just, oh, I need to look back. Oh, what's back there? What's back there? It's just peace. Just knowing that, the dust has settled. And I don't know. That's just like one of the things that I was just thinking about just waking up today. And then another thing, because I had started, talking to a couple of different people or whatever, just trying to get myself back into the dating scenes. And then like certain people, most times like, like it's a good connection, there's chemistry, but you're only going to slow down this person's healing. They still have to heal. And then just makes me happy because like the old me, I would have been like, I'm gonna find a way to make this work, especially like if the connection was there. But now the healing me, and I'm not gonna say healed because it's always something that you can heal from every day. So I would never claim to be completely healed because every day I'm alive is another day that's something I can heal from, right? So like the healing version of me is mature enough to accept that and just say, okay, and be okay to go talk to somebody else or be okay to go do something else. And then I just noticed that about myself just even last night. And I'm just like, wow, I'm growing. I'm really growing, but just still just looking like, because I went through like on my Facebook account. And I'm like, because like once you see like what genuine love is, you just kind of look back and see what, everybody that said that they love you, and they'll be there for you and things like that. It makes you look at them like a certain way. Like, one, like, do you know what love is? Because boom, I just came over here and just met all of these strangers. And they, welcome and treat me as if they've known me, like they care, things like that. And then it just kind of like, so I was just like going through my Facebook. I'm just like, you know what? It's just time to let go of this version of me. And I just started going block, delete, block, delete, block, delete, block, delete. And I was just like, you know what? Should I just delete my whole account? But I'm like, let me get an SD card first. So let me get all of my pictures off. And then I just might just be done with it because, I don't know. I think that's just like part of just my attachments of just trying to hold on to like certain people or certain things. And then now I'm just like see, this has already started clearing up from just last night's treatment. I need to stop licking my lips. But this just threw me off so bad. And I did find like one of these little containers that I made, some lip balm. It's just honey, some lemon oil, shea butter. I think I put some mango butter in here too. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. But I think that's just like the last bit of just me letting go of my attachments. And I messed up 2 of my nails. They didn't dry all the way when I was trying to put the glitter on there. Then I was trying to hide the glitter with the paint. Then the paint started it was just a mess, but I gotta get some remover so I can fix it. But it was a good attempt though. I did them myself. I like them though. They're still pretties. But I don't know, that's just what I just wanted to say. I understand now the importance of like detaching myself from like situations, habits, peoples, just pretty much nouns, detaching myself from nouns. And since I have been like just letting go of one thing, another thing's been coming in my hands. So it's like you let go of one, you get something else. So I'm like, now I get it. But at first it was just like that fear of letting go. But I'm gonna go get ready now. I look a little rough. But that's all I just wanted to get on here and say. And, even if you do feel like, like history. Don't let history be like your form of attachments. And then that was just like another thing that they was just saying to me as well. Like, when I talk to Most High and Spirit teams, all my peoples, all my cousins. But when I talk to them, like when I was talking to them, they were just telling me like, because my thing is like, if I love somebody, if I care about you, and if I see like you're struggling spiritually or if you're struggling physically, I'm going to do everything in my power that I can to help you, even if it holds me back, because I know that I can keep going eventually, but I will stay and hold myself back to make sure that you can come too. And that was one of the things that they were just telling me, like, stop holding yourself back. When it's time for this person or persons to elevate spiritually, they will. And that's just kind of what I was getting into. Like, a person can only see you as far as they can see themselves, and then some people just have fortified themselves in trauma that is become a safe and comfortable place because it's all that they know. And anything outside of that trauma can look like a threat. Like now you're threatening their security because they fortified themselves here because it was so scary out there. And now it's just less as scary. And then something or somebody coming in with like hope, or promises of a better tomorrow, telling somebody who's been in their darkness or inside their tomb for so long, they're not going to believe you. They're going to attack you. And, I just kind of understood that too, just from reading Pistis Sophia, the part when Jesus, that book cracks me up, that and the Nag Hammadi. I'm like, I don't think these books was meant to be that funny as I was taking it, but I've been crying, laughing, and like when I read those books. That's why I've been kind of hesitant to read. I have this book. It's called The Other Bible, but I know it has a story in there about Adam and Eve's daughter, Nerea, that I was explaining about, because I know she was the one who called the Holy Spirit down to come get Yahweh because he was tripping and all this other stuff. And Sophia kept warning them. But I haven't read that story yet. But I just get stuff in dreams and I have weird visions. And I'm like, ooh, let me go get this book. But I have it. So I'm like, am I going to laugh through this book too? But the part in Pistis Sophia, Jesus had went through all the regions, all the heavens, or whatever, after he got done teaching the disciples, after, So he was just a bright light, this iridescent, like this, just, he was a light, right? And then everybody, like in the other heavens, they was preparing for the day that Jesus came and all this other stuff. So they was doing all this preparation. He already then came and went. And then after he left, like every region, they like, was that the Messiah? Like, did he just pass us? Did he come and we missed him? And then he'd go through the next region. But they like doing their preparations, doing them. Then he already then came and left. And they like, did Jesus just come by here? And like that part cracks me up, because it, like I was just saying, like too, like you be waiting for something to happen, you're always gonna miss it. That's why you should just be, and just be, with no intentions of like, have intentions, but not to hurt nobody. But then anything outside of that, you can't go wrong as long as you're not, intentionally trying to hurt people. But they were just explaining to me too, like me trying to hold myself back, it's just a disservice to myself, because the gifts that I have and, some of the knowledge that I have, can be paired with other people's, and I can help people just by telling them, how I got through my crazy childhood. But I tried going to counseling for, and I just quit going to counseling because I'm like, she's just telling me the same things that I already know. So that just told me that I needed to just start doing what I already knew. Like, I give great advice, but I never took it for myself. because I just had to go through a process where I even found myself worthy, because I never did. And once I did, I'm just like, wait a minute, like I've been sleep on myself, like what? You know, not even on no cocky stuff, but just like, wow, like, you know, just seeing myself from the eyes of nature, like that just brought me back to life. And like I can never thank God enough for that. Like who just knew? Just going outside, sitting up against a tree, or just feeling the wind blow. And then, you know, just seeing the birds, or just like the little insects, and then you see how they can work in unity, like their community. Like, how come we can't be an example of what they are? You know, we put ourselves at the top of the food chain, saying like, oh, we're greater because we're people, we're audible, we can move and we can do all of this, and we don't have to crawl on all fours and all this other stuff. But whole time, if you even look at the days of creation, the animals was made before we were. So technically, the animals are our ancestors. The dogs, the cats, the frogs, like they're all our ancestors. And then like that's what kind of made me pull back from eating meat a few years ago, when I just came to that just realization, like, you know, who said that we control them, right? They were here first. They were here first, but then we dominate them and we eat them, domesticate them. And like I just started just looking at life a lot differently. And I'm like, we do it to them, but then it's being done to us by, you know, a person behind the screen. The puppeteer, you know, that's puppeteering everybody. And everybody illusion is to think that they're in control, but they're really not, because it's always somebody behind them and bigger power until you get to the source of the power of this world. I didn't mean to ramble on, but I just want to just get on here and just talk about, you know, detachments, and, you know, just not so much just trying to pull everybody with you. Oh yeah, that's what my spiritual team was telling me, that, you know, if somebody's willing and their ears are open to hear what I'm saying, like as far as like when I get on here or like with my spiritual talks or teachings, that those are my people. And those are the ones that I'm going to bring with me on my journey. And then the ones who, you know, rebuttal and, you know, just try to just argue what I say, those are my people, but they're just not my people right now. They still got some spiritual growth to do. And so that just kind of helped me just sit with a lot of just, I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready for the day. I hope everybody have a great day in peace, love, light, and endurance.